Before I even get to Israel Palestine, I could get into the namesake of the stream. So you guys might have seen this. Recently there was a leak, like some documentation came out or whatever. That Elon Musk might have been planning to do what he did to Twitter. Like this might have been his plan the whole time, or something like that. With NBC News, what was Elon Musk's strategy for Twitter? A year after the world's richest man acquired the social media platform, a game plan published by a fired Trump White House staffer provides a clue. The language is a bit sanitized here, but when they refer to them as a ex-staffer, which is certainly true. They're also a neo-Nazi. They apparently they had been pretty active online. Let's see. On the day that public records revealed that Elon Musk had become Twitter's biggest shareholder, an unknown sender texted the billionaire and recommended an article imploring him to acquire the social network outright. Musk's purchase of Twitter, according to this 3,000-word anonymous article, would amount to a, quote, declaration of war against the globalist American empire, end quote. And when they say globalist, they mean Jewish. The sender of the text was offering Musk, the Tesla and SpaceX CEO, a playbook for the takeover and transformation of Twitter. As the anniversary of Musk's purchase approaches, the identity of the sender remains unknown. The three texts were sent out on April 4th, 2022. And in the nearly 18 months since then, many of the decisions Musk made after he bought Twitter appear to have closely followed that roadmap, up to and including his ongoing attacks against the Anti-Defamation League, a non-profit org founded by Jewish Americans to counter discrimination. An org which I have problems with on the grounds of their support for Israel, but generally in the United States they can and do pretty good work. Here we go. The text messages described a series of actions Musk should take after he gained full control of the social media platform. Step 1, blame the platform for its users. Step 2, coordinated pressure campaign. Step 3, exodus of the blue checks. Step 4, deplatforming. The messages from the unknown user were revealed in a court filing last year as evidence in a lawsuit Twitter brought against Musk after he tried to back out of buying it. The redacted documents were unearthed by the Chancery Daily, an independent legal publication covering proceedings before the Delaware Court of Chancery. Okay, so this is like local newspaper. I initially was a little bit skeptical because I didn't recognize the name of the newspaper, but then I realized, oh, it's because it is very, very niche. And I guess if it is a specific specialist legal journal on those proceedings in particular, then I guess I am inclined to believe what it reports here. Wording of the text matches the subtitle of the article, The Battle of the Century. Here's what happens if Elon Musk buys Twitter, which had been published 3 days earlier on the right-wing website revolver.news. Okay, here we go. So I'm on revolver.news. I'm going to have to navigate the insane far-right disinformation if I want to get to the meat of the matter here, I think. Rare bit of clarity from the right wing. In 2020, Revolver explored the Tucker Carlson paradox. Tucker Carlson Tonight is the most popular program on cable news. This was before he had been kicked off of Fox. Yet no other networks tried to imitate its content. The reason we argued is that ratings and by extension profitability are not even the real point of major news outlets. For a media empire operating at the highest levels, the influence it wields on the public's mind is far more valuable to the ruling power structure than any self-contained profit that could be generated by optimizing their news product to suit the taste of the audience. This does not mean profit is irrelevant to a media company. In Tucker's case, his stratospheric ratings are a great tool of leverage, and without profit, a company must continually court new investors. But the point remains that for a serious media enterprise, profit is always secondary to influence. Now, I will disagree 6 ways from Sunday on any far-right opinions on what media is what, and like what its biases are and whatever. But here there's like I said rare bit of clarity because this is how media institutions function. Is that while they are private and driven by profit because capitalist system, etc., the name of the game here is influence and the shaping of the public opinion. Noam Chomsky even explores this with manufacturing consent. Of course, the people that own the news outlets are not restricting their ownership just to those news outlets. They're often part of much larger portfolios on the part of the shareholders, on the part of the CEOs and whatever. Think of somebody like Rupert Murdoch, who owns, who is it, Fox or News Corp? Let's see. Yeah, he owns News Corp, which Fox News is a part of. The objective for him is like maintaining his comfortable position, and to that end, profit is immensely important. However, he also has an ideological agenda which he seeks to push through his media enterprises that he owns either just by himself or through his company. One of them being Fox News. And this is why sometimes they will go so far beyond the pale. The right-wing news outlets in particular will do this because the name of the game more than profit is influence, and they want people to believe a certain narrative. And of course, like, even this influence peddling is only really important because it keeps the capital-owning class on top, at least in this like private news structure of things. Anyways, sorry, I'm getting a little bit lost in the sauce, and I don't want to praise this far-right news outlet any more than I have to. It's just, I didn't expect them to have any degree of coherence whatsoever. But where is the part where they talk about like what Elon Musk should or will do to Twitter? Okay, here we go. This is where it starts to outline the more detailed version of what the NBC article mentioned. Step 1, blame the platform for its users. The moment Twitter stopped telling users what they're supposed to think, elites would immediately treat Twitter as responsible for what all its users think and do. Twitter would be blamed for every so-called act of racism and sex. They don't care about these things. The racism, sexism, and transphobia occurring on its platform. All this would be presented not merely as a moral failure, but as an explicit danger. Last summer, DHS labeled white supremacist the top domestic terror threat, and labeled that America was in a heightened threat environment due to misinformation and anti-vaccine rhetoric online. I'm trying to parse through this here. Like, the far right is so deep in their own schizophrenic minds that it's kind of hard to parse this. Okay. It seems the moment of clarity has passed. They are unironically arguing that Parler is a real alternative to Twitter, as if. Yeah, they kind of get lost in the sauce super quickly. They kind of start jerking themselves raw over their own anti-Semitism. All right, step 2 is the coordinated pressure campaign. This is the part I think we're familiar with. Elon Musk like nonstop posting about bots and how his leadership will be so much better at rooting out the bots, stuff like that. Okay, so the pressure campaign, basically they're saying, oh, you see, we used to have free speech, but then the ADL came in and said, being Nazis is bad, actually. You shouldn't do that. And then Twitter was like, damn, you're so right, and banned a bunch of people. They're probably exaggerating the degree to which nonprofit orgs like the ADL had any influence. It was probably a matter of nonprofit orgs speaking up, and then that kind of spooking investors, which made Twitter change its policy. But it is nonetheless good that Twitter banned Nazis at one point. It was still pretty bad to, you still had to be pretty fucking bad to get banned from Twitter even before Elon. But they're saying you should have to be even worse. Actually, you should simply be worse. Where are they going with this? I guess they're saying, like, hey, a lot of these big companies used their influence with advertisers to, like, change Twitter policy, potentially, so we should do the same. Which, I mean, yeah, I guess that's what they ended up doing, right? Step 3, exodus of the blue checks. I don't precisely know what this means, It will become activist behavior to performatively delete one's account. Oh, okay. I understand. So basically, say Twitter has fallen, billions must die, take over, and then, like, start pressuring Twitter in the opposite direction of like, platform moderation and stuff like that, to allow Nazis to fester on the platform as much as possible, which will then drive away all of the verified users that used to be verified because they had some sort of standing, enough so to get the blue check to say, this is an actual person, and this is a person of note, and it is really them. Impersonators need not apply. So, and then step 4 is deplatforming. Think Twitter's too big to ever take down? Think again. If America's ruling class acted in concert, acting in concert can silence a sitting president. They're talking about Donald Trump here, which is hilarious. They are capable of cutting off virtually anything. Oh my god, they start talking about Hunter Biden. You have to be fucking kidding me. Yeah, okay. That's the playbook. It like, I didn't understand what it was beforehand, and I still kind of don't understand what it is now. But I understand a little bit better. It's just like, fucking do the whole Twitter bots meme, take over Twitter, make it unbearable for everybody, especially, like, anybody of note, and then, like, profit, I guess, because now you have emboldened the far right by enabling disinformation to spread freely on Twitter. So this whole thing is mired in right-wing conspiracism. The reasoning for and motives behind acting the way they have around Twitter, and it seems that they're kind of getting what they want now. So why do I mention this, right? Once again, it is because of a comment that I saw in another video of mine discussing Twitter. In fact, while I was playing a Pokemon ROM hack, I think I was playing Pokemon Fire Red Rocket Edition, and they said that the downfall of Twitter is long, but it's coming, and I think that's true. But it seems to be coming from a different place now. The downfall of Twitter seems to be coming from a different place than it was previously. Before, it really did seem like Elon Musk was just such an astronomically stupid human being that he was, like, jackhammering Twitter into the ground without fully understanding what he's doing. And he obviously he still doesn't. If he's taking cues from these people, then they don't know what they're doing either. I mean, they do and they don't. But now it seems that some additional intentionality has been added to the mix, where we kind of knew that Elon enjoyed palling around with the far right, but now it's been revealed that the primary purpose of him taking over Twitter at all was actually to embolden the far right and to turn Twitter into the disinformation cesspool that it has become. I didn't know that was an intentional part of it. I just thought that Elon was kind of indifferent and bought his own hype, which I think he does still buy his own hype. But now I realize he was very much not indifferent. He had he had an interest in what all was occurring there. And unfortunately, it seems like he is succeeding. And the reason that's important is because despite Twitter having majorly dropped off in terms of its user base, in terms of, like, its revenue stream and all that, it remains a relevant social media site in some respects. You know, that as well has dropped off a cliff. But I think it's important to contextualize that, because Twitter was designed with disaster relief and political news in mind. It was supposed to be an outlet for that sort of stuff to circulate and for citizen journalism. And now Elon has taken that platform and weaponized it to become a tool of the far right. And what I'm trying to communicate here is that Twitter has always been more influential across the world than the raw numbers of profitability or even user data might suggest. You know, like, there have been instances where discourse on Twitter has wound up impacting American politics, like, at a state and national level. you know, it holds a lot of influence, and it's something that can't easily be measured. This is going to maybe not single-handedly plunge the world into another episode with the far right, which it seems we've been having many of those lately, but it is certainly not going to help. It's going to, you know, prolong and make more difficult the battle against disinformation, against the far right that we're currently engaging in. And I can only hope that we'll emerge on the other side of this with some sort of comparable outlet that's good for spreading news incredibly quickly. I don't know. It seems like, in many ways, it seems like the functionality of Twitter, where, you know, getting news really quickly, has been replaced by just your average news sites. You know, news sites have the live updates page. That stuff is useful. You know, you could just search on Google and it automatically returns the most recent relevant results. As much as Google sucks for a lot of search mechanisms and whatever, searching news is not one of them. It is relatively easy to find relevant news. So it seems that Twitter is indeed dying. El Bozo. I don't know how many nails are going into this coffin, you know, but this seems like that's another one. Another one to add onto there. And I'll repeat what that person said on my other Twitter video. The downfall of Twitter is long, but it's coming. Oh yeah, I wanted to wrap up with another comment that struck me recently. Again, I'm going to refer to something Vosh said. It was just an offhand comment, but I think I've come to see where he was coming from with that. Vosh said, like, citizen journalism is dead or something. Something like that. And again, whatever you think of the guy, nobody here is under the obligation to like or agree with Vosh. But I think he has a point there. Maybe that he doesn't even fully realize, or maybe he does and he'd just be real smug about it. All of the things that were good for citizen journalism on Twitter, for genuine citizen journalism, are pretty much gone. We've seen if the Israel-Palestine situation is of any indication, disinformation is proliferating on Twitter as readily as it literally ever has. Twitter has surpassed Facebook in the degree to which misinformation is an issue. You know, there have been old videos circulating with logos of reputable news outlets put in front of them. It's harder to tell what's just an image and what's a link to an actual news thing anymore. You know, ads don't have to be labeled as ads on the platform, which isn't legal, but I mean, Elon isn't going to face any immediate repercussions for that. And people ultimately will just say stuff on Twitter, and the sort of the job of fact checking has been outsourced to the users of Twitter, people who sign up for the Community Notes program. And even then, some of those people aren't reliable. You know, the Community Notes aren't always correct either. And sometimes I've seen Community Notes that have quite a few Hitler particles in them, as one Leon Trotsky said. I'm not exactly a Trotskyite, but he said that there is a particle of Hitler in all of us. Little known fact, Trotsky actually invented the Hitler particle meme, which is very funny to me. So yeah, I guess if you're out there and you're wondering what the state of Twitter is and what the point of all this was, it seems like maybe I was wrong when I said that, you know, Twitter, there needs to be an alternative to Twitter as far as citizen journalism is concerned. Maybe that doesn't need to be the case, because there are journalistic outlets that are much better for what Twitter used to be good for than Twitter is now. You know, the live news updates, you know, Snap news updates and all that, like, as it's happening. And I guess now, you know, because I do know some people on Twitter, but I follow them elsewhere, I guess now I'm actually kind of content to just watch Twitter crumble into the dirt. You know, it used to be the case that, like, you know, man, where's all the political discourse going to go after Twitter is done? But now I don't care as much. Because it's like, well, wherever it goes, it'll go somewhere. And, you know, I'm sure I'll find it eventually. And, you know, there's still going to be the news. That's always going to be... There's still going to be, you know, live and pretty regular news updates. And, I guess what I'm taking a long time to say there is I don't think the world loses anything if Twitter just goes kaput. You know? I made a list of all the people that I know on Twitter, so I'd be able to look them up elsewhere. But yeah, an unexpected silver lining, I guess. That's what's what on Twitter. I think I'll make this into a segment. I'm not entirely sure, but you know, thanks for watching there, and I'll see you next. Enjoy the downfall of Twitter because it is long, but it's coming. Cut the segment there.